So, hi everyone. I have to applaud all of you, first of all, for being here still, because this is the power time to be here and learn from some of the best producers. This crew up here, the ones before us. So I'm really happy you're here because you're the dedicated crew, I say. So just a couple things I want to go over right now with you is just the really meat and potatoes of how to bring in business, how to dig deep into your referral sources. Having trained dozens and dozens of people, I love the whole adage of, write down 100 people you know and let's start with that, right? But it's about digging deeper than that. So I'm going to give you some serious takeaways to have you grow your business like starting tomorrow. If you always think about the people that in your life know you and love you, respect you, whether it comes from family, friends, colleagues, the person that owns a diner, the dry cleaner, whatever it may be. Let's start with family. Specifically asking the people that love and care for you, starting tomorrow, Aunt Jane, do you know a good financial planner that you know or work with? Just one realtor, one lawyer, one accountant, right? Ask that question. I promise you, they all know people personally. Yes, my accountant, my financial planner, my realtor, my attorney. Great, do me a really big favor. Tomorrow, here's my short little bio. Do me a big favor. Email them personally, CC me, and say you'd like to introduce me, your nephew, to these people personally that have been in the mortgage industry for years. I could be a great resource to them. Thank you very much. I'll take it from there. Starting tomorrow, if you do that with these contacts, just start with the best 20 people you know, you will double, triple, and quadruple your volume within a year, guaranteed. Very specific nugget. Now, who in here is doing something that specific? That specific? Anybody? One person. Is that pretty solid information? I would say so. Let's start with that. You want to keep going here or what?
Yeah, you know what I'd love you to do is talk about your wine tasting events and what you're doing with events, who you're inviting, what's that look like, how many are you doing a year, and kind of just boil down to that. Give them a little specific knowledge on just that because you've had so much success being in front of people and having these events.
Love it. That's great. Let's go on that one then. Specifically, so here's what I do 4 to 5 times a year. I have wine tasting events. I have a events group that I have in my CRM, specifically events. These are my 18 people, partners of law firms.
Okay, hold a second.
Yes.
Dimitri, give me 5. Do you think this is going to get in your brain through osmosis? It's not. Hey, who's writing this down? Who wrote down that idea? Oh, sure. Now you did.
Love it.
Right? This is not going to get into your brain through osmosis. This is a brilliant idea. Whether you are an introvert or an extrovert or anything in between as an ambivert, hey, listen, have a wine tasting. If you've never done one, commit to doing one. If you do them all the time, commit to taking 1 or 2 things out of what he shares with you because this guy's doing big business in New Jersey. If it works in New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen, it'll freaking work anywhere.
Yes, I get that.
Sorry.
So here's the best part, the wine tasting. Guess what? The wine tasting events don't cost me that much money. I'll tell you why in a second. So the wine tasting events I have an A list of people, 200-300 people that are my A team, the referral sources, partners of firms, entrepreneurs, successful people. I have my email says, hey, I'm having another one of my wine tasting events. You know the purpose of these events by now. It's my way to say thank you and give back to you, my people, more professional than that, to have you be thanked for your efforts for referring me business and being a friend. I personally walk around and introduce people to each other the whole evening, so as you know, you'll get some good context out of it. Now what I've done is I've worked it out with a local, very big wine specialty food place. They have a beautiful marble bar in the middle. I worked out with the owner. He doesn't charge me to come in for the wine tasting. I just buy all the food and the appetizers because he knows they all walk out buying wine because it's a beautiful facility. So what I do is at that event, I thank everyone for coming, and I personally walk around the entire night. As much as I want to say hi to everyone and hang out, I personally walk around introducing people all night long. All night. Come here, you got to meet this partner of this firm. Come here, you got to meet this guy. Financial planner, you got to meet this guy. I can tell you right now from that meeting, those events alone, so much business it's had, and I'm thanked forever every time I do it. That's not a very expensive venue. I do one a year where I spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. I have a full open bar and a buffet. That one attracts obviously a lot more eaters. A lot more 95, 100 people come to that one. But they're usually very small, 25 to 35 on the wine tasting, 100 on the big ones.
Let me ask you a couple questions on the wine tasting just to kind of wrap up this segment. I told you to go fast, dude.
Yeah,
He's a professional speaker. He speaks all the time. The shortest keynote he's ever done is 30 minutes. So 8 minutes goes by really fast. So what are 1 or 2 tidbits or takeaways or little nuggets from the wine tasting specifically that you would recommend everybody here make sure they do at their next wine tasting to maximize referrals or maximize the goodwill that comes from that?
Right. So as I said before, you want to be strategic about who you invite. And when they know that you're having these events, and the purpose of having them is to connect people together, make sure when you get up there, of course, you don't want to be, basically thank them all for coming, thank them all for referring you business, thank you for their friendship, maybe throw in one tidbit of something going on. It's not a sales opportunity, but make sure to remind them of that. After the event is done, if you have the time when you're in the car or wherever, follow up with each of them. Sometimes, like I said, 25 to 35 come. It gives you an opportunity to talk to them again, see how they're doing.
Okay.
I invite several hundred. They're always busy, but 25 to 45 come. But the follow-up's huge because now I'm calling back, hey, John, how you doing? Listen, how'd you do last night? I talked to you for a few minutes. I'm sorry, it was a really busy time. Did you meet anyone that you wanted to meet? Did you follow up? Did you meet Joe? I had you meet with him. Yeah, he was a great guy. Listen, there were 4 other partners of law firms there. You're a great CPA to deal with entrepreneurs. I'm going to connect it all for them. I'm going to send an email, CC you, follow up with them, and you'll be good from there. And now they're thanking me. They're tremendous. By the way, how's things going? How's your family? Is there anything I can do for you? Anything else? Anyone else you want to meet? It's that follow through. That how can I help you? It's huge.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between follow through and follow up, and you hit both of them, right? Follow through is doing what you said you were going to do. If you want to get referrals, make sure you follow through, right? Which is doing what you said you were going to do. You're at the event, you say, hey, I'm going to call you on Monday, or I'm going to call you on Friday, or let's get together next week. You're going to follow through by following up with them, right? And then follow up is different. Follow up is going above and beyond in your follow up. Like some of your calls that you're doing, you didn't tell them you were going to call them. Right. You just called or text them to say, hey, or thank you for coming.
How was it last night?
That's follow up.
How'd you do last night? Right. How did you do last night?
That's a wonderful wow.
Right.
And both of those are ingredients to making sure that you get referrals from this. The other thing that you don't know about Mark is that he is an author, and he has a fantastic book. Jennifer and Mark both have books, and they do have them available here. Do me a favor, do Mark a favor, but do yourself a favor, and make sure you pick up both of those books before you leave today. Great airplane reading, great reading no matter where you're at. Bottom line is make sure you pick those up. Do me a favor, give Mark Demetrio a huge, huge hand, right?
Thank you.
Awesome job. Man, I'll tell you.